Hey everyone, it's Jordan Faith. Today I'm trying the flip section styling method. This method was coined by Sophie-Marie over on Instagram. It is basically a quick and easy way to brush style upside down in sections. If you're excited about it, please give it a thumbs up. Here on my channel, I try all sorts of different styling methods just like this one, and I share different hair care tips and tricks. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna take you through the process, so let's head to my shower to get started. Here we are in my shower. I am getting my hair completely soaking wet and then washing with the Umberto Giannini Curl Jelly Wash Shampoo. This is very clear, you can barely see it on my hand. It is a very thick, very concentrated shampoo. It feels almost like glue in my hands. It's quite sticky and quite thick, but as soon as I put it on my wet hair, it loosens up and it starts lathering. My hair is really dirty here, so after I scrubbed my scalp really well with the pads of my fingers and worked that lather through the lengths of my hair, I did go ahead and rinse and do a second shampoo with the same product. I just closed the shower curtain while I did that part, so I don't have the footage for you. Next, I'm using the Umberto Giannini Curl Jelly Care Conditioner. And I am taking way too much. I got a little carried away. It's just so fun to watch it come out of the bottle. And it's a pretty thin consistency, so I always forget just how concentrated it is. It really is a very concentrated formula. I probably could have used half of that, maybe even less than half of that, and been fine. Unfortunately, I squeezed out too much and applied it all to my hair, and so that's why it's foaming up so much, because I definitely used more than I needed. This conditioner has really good slip. It makes it incredibly easy to detangle. It makes my hair feel nice and silky smooth, and I love that it has a little pink tint to it. I left this on just for a few minutes, and then I rinsed it out completely, making sure to scrub my scalp with my fingertips gently as I rinsed it out to ensure it's completely cleansed off of my scalp and out of my hair. Next, I'm using the Mielle White Peony Leave-In Conditioner. This is a spray leave-in. I'm using 4 sprays, and you can barely see it on my hand. It's pretty thin, but this is another one that is very concentrated, so just that tiny amount of product was all that I needed. Now, to start the actual styling technique, the first step is to use a curl cream. I am using a generous amount of the AG Curl Fresh Definer. This is my absolute favorite curl cream. It is very lightweight. It's very thin. This is actually the only product that I've found, if I haven't used it in a while, it almost separates in the bottle. So I have to give it a really good shake before squeezing out any onto my hand. Otherwise it's too runny and it just goes all over the place. I don't know if that's normal for the product or if maybe that's just my bottle, but as long as I give it a nice little shake as if it's a mousse, it works perfectly. After I've raked and brushed that through, I am sectioning my hair into 3 sections, starting with the section from behind my ears to the back of my head and the nape of my neck, clipping that up as one section. And no, my sections are not perfect. I am just using my fingers. I'm not worrying about getting perfect parts. My hair likes to stay in perfect parts and it looks kind of funky, so I try to avoid them now. If you saw my Mains by Mel technique using the Denman brush, you'll see my hair really likes to stay in parts. So I'm doing very rough parts here. The second part that I'm making is from kind of the front to middle of my ear straight across. And that leaves me with my first section to work with being my bangs and face framing section. I'm brushing through with my perfect hair care brush to form clumps. And then I'm using my wide tooth comb to separate them into smaller clumps. But you'll see these front pieces of my hair like to clump back together. Next, I'm using the Umberto Giannini Curl Jelly Jelly. I took way too much for this first section. I did end up having a lot left over on my hands after I scrunched it in. I just kind of forgot I had sectioned my hair when I was squeezing the gel into my hand. I don't know where my mind was this day, but it was not on using the proper small amounts of product. After scrunching the gel into the first section, I am letting down the second section, using my hand as a barrier so that the sections don't mix together. So I'm brushing this section the same as the first section, and then using the wide tooth comb to separate the clumps into smaller clumps, and then taking just a small amount of the jelly and scrunching that in. Moving on to the last section, I'm letting it down, brushing through it. You can see this brush gets my hair really nice and smooth. It's really good at laying down flyaways and, of course, enhancing definition. Combing through to separate the clumps, and then smoothing on and scrunching in one last portion of gel. You already know this is one of my favorite gels. It was in my favorites video. I've been using it a lot lately. It doesn't have the strongest hold because it's just a jelly, but it provides me with really decent hold, and I really just like the results that it gives me. The next step is to stick your fingers in at the roots, give a little shake, and then turn upright. This is what it looked like. Not the best. It definitely looks a little funky. My hair likes to stay in place the way that I've brushed it, so this might work better for you. The finger trick is a really good idea. It just doesn't work that well for my hair. I microplopped with my perfect hair care towel to remove as much water as I could. I always try to remove water before I move on to diffusing. Next, I pixie diffused for about 20 minutes and then air dried the rest of the way. I had a very light cast, and the last step of this method is to finish and seal with an oil and scrunch out the crunch. So I'm using the Briogeo Farewell Frizz oil blend, just one small drop to smooth over my hair and scrunch out the crunch. And I'm giving my roots a really good fluff. And these are the results. I think it looks really pretty. My hair is very shiny and defined. It has pretty decent volume. This method is supposed to be able to give you the volume of styling upside down while also giving you the definition that comes from brush styling. And I think it does a really good job of that. My hair feels great. I love the products that I used today. I used mostly all favorites of mine and tried one new thing. I think this did a good job of enhancing my curl pattern, and it definitely gave me a good defined result. Sophie-Marie says you can adjust the amount of sections that you do based on your hair's density. I just stuck with the 3 sections that she does in her demonstration video, although my sections were pretty small. Contrary to what a lot of people might think or say, I do have lower density hair, probably in between low and medium. I think there's a large spectrum to all of these stats about our hair. I think it is a lot more broad than just being able to define it as the low, medium, high. But I definitely don't have high density hair. I have pretty thin, fine hair, but I have gotten pretty good at making it appear that I have a fuller head of hair than I actually have. And I think today the products that I used and the method that I tried out worked really well to create that illusion of a nice, full, dense head of hair. The only downside or issue that I see with my results is that my roots are kind of pushed forward from the way that I brushed my hair. And so my roots kind of stay in that pushed forward position, especially at the front here. This might not happen to your hair. My hair is just very inclined to follow and stay in the position that I brushed it into. Let me know below what you thought of my results, if you liked this technique, if you've ever tried it, any of your thoughts. I missed you all so much last week. Thank you for waiting for me. I'm excited to be back and to make more fun, helpful, and exciting content. As always, all the products that I used are listed and linked in the description box below. If you liked this video, please click the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, I would really appreciate you clicking that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Remember to love yourself fully and faithfully, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and if you've stuck around this far, I just want to do a quick update explicitly on my hair color. I did little purple money pieces just about 4 weeks ago, and they are fading out quite a bit. I haven't been doing anything extra special to keep them from fading. I've actually been doing things that I should have been avoiding, but my scalp's been bothering me a lot lately throughout this month. So I've been clarifying a little bit more often, shampooing twice a week when I typically only do it once, using warm water because it's winter and I don't want to be cold. And I even used a sulfate to clarify one time. But overall, I'm really happy with it. It's not fading out to any weird color or anything. I didn't lighten it before putting on the color, so it's just kind of naturally getting lighter and going back to my brown hair color. It's not brown yet, it's still got some purple, but it's definitely not as dark or as vibrant as when I freshly dyed it. So I would absolutely do it again. I do want to play around with my hair color a little bit more. It's really fun to me. It's something that I love to do as a form of self-expression. So I hope you enjoy it too. When I do a color, I don't have an issue really with however quickly it's going to fade out, just because whenever it's gone, I get to try something new. And just take a little peek at my Confident and Kind Sierra Schultz merch. My husband got me this shirt for my birthday. I think it's really pretty and cute, and I just wanted to give it a little shout out. I think I did it. I think I got it.